So today we're going to talk about finding your X factor, becoming an entrepreneur, and being able to create your own way, being able to write your own paycheck, being able to say, this is the life that I want, and be able to create that, to be able to build a company, to build a team, to be able to build the lifestyle that you choose. It's something that every one of us has within us. Becoming a self-sustained entrepreneur who has the ability on demand to create your own way. You have whatever you have to work with, and that's all you need. So let go of the notion that you've got to somehow acquire something from outside of yourself, some secret, some silver bullet. You already have the goods. The 99% of what you need is there. It's right inside of you. And today my goal is to, and my intention is to help you unlock some of that potential, because it's already there. And when you realize that it's already there, you'll realize that that is your biggest asset. And there's incredible value in that. Incredible value. And now it's just time to start getting paid for that. And that's what being an entrepreneur is. And the beautiful thing about the direct marketing industry is that it's a really, really awesome platform. It's an awesome way to get paid, to be remunerated for what you're worth. And especially with the internet, it's so flexible. You can do things that you couldn't do 10 years ago. For example, one of my mentors 10 years ago, his biggest cost of doing business was his phone bill. That was before Google even existed. I mean, thousands of dollars a month in long distance. How many of you guys have $1,000 a month long distance bill? Okay, there's an advantage that we didn't have 10 years ago. You see, circumstances have nothing to do with your success. They really don't. We think they do, and we buy into the notion that they do, and we allow the people around us to tell us and support the fact that, well, I can only achieve this because this is all I have to work with. I don't have the education, I don't know how to market, I don't know how to generate leads, I'm not comfortable talking to people, I don't know anything about running a business. And we have all of these agreements that we've made with ourselves about what we're lacking, for things that we have to somehow figure out or accomplish or attain before we can start to have the results that we want. So today what we're going to do is unlock some of this potential that's already in you. We've started this on the Mastermind, and we're going to continue the conversation today. For the first 25 years of my life, I was very insecure and very ashamed of my story. Who are you? Where do you live? I grew up on a commune, a compound essentially, a religious compound. Okay, I was embarrassed about that. I had very little exposure to the outside world, so I knew nothing about pop culture. I knew a handful of bands, like the big names, because I heard people talking about them. But we were completely isolated from the outside world. And for years, that was a huge insecurity of mine. And I wanted to be something different. I wanted to be something different. And for years, as I was searching for who I wanted to be, I just tried to emulate and I tried to mimic other people. So I would see somebody having what appeared to be a life or an opportunity or a business or results that I wanted, and I would try to copy them. I wish I could be like this guy. I wish I could be like that guy. I wish I could have those results. And it was always me sitting here looking at people who had the results that I wanted and then trying to figure out what they know that I don't know. Trying to figure out what they know that I don't know and what they weren't telling me. And I had this belief that there was some secret that I had to. There was some secret. There were some secrets that they just weren't telling you. How many of you guys think or feel like there's some secret to success that somebody just hasn't told you yet? That there's something more to it. And you're just a little bit skeptical that it's not quite as it appears. Well, that was me. One day someone told me, one of my mentors, he said, "Jay, you want to know what the secret to success is?" I said, "Yeah, there is no secret." And he walked away. I was like, dude, that hurt, man. You might as well just come and like throw some salt in my face. That hurt. But it kind of stuck with me. Then a little bit while later, I was out with some friends. And this is when I'm still working at Midas. And I remember we were riding in this car. It was after work, like on a weekend, like a Friday night after work or something. We're going out to a bar. And I'm like, why am I on this planet? Why am I on this earth? Why am I taking up this space? Because I'm not comfortable in my own skin. I'm incredibly insecure. I'm introverted. I don't know my ass from my elbow. I'm just trying to get by, but I feel like I'm just keep running into the same roadblocks. What is it? And it was my best friend, Mike. We were just kind of goofing around, and he said, Jay, but that's why we love you. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, all your weird little insecurities and idiosyncrasies and all the little weird things that you do, you're such a dork. That's why I freaking love you, man. And I was like, what? That's why you love me? Okay. Maybe, if that's why you love me, I want to feel like more people love me, so maybe I should just be more of that. And if they don't like it, too bad for them. And it was the first time that someone gave me permission to just be myself. And it was in that moment when I stopped trying to be somebody else. I stopped trying to be somebody else. Stopped trying to be the person that I thought I needed to be to have the life that I want. Because it just wasn't working. As long as I was trying to copy someone else, I was trying to figure out what their secret was. What their secrets were. How they were getting the results that they're getting, and what they're not telling me. What I realized was they don't have anything to tell me, because they don't know themselves what they're doing half the time. In the world of entrepreneurial success, there are people who just get it, and they just understand, they plug in, and they're making money the next day, and that's awesome. But the vast majority of us, it doesn't work that way. So when at that pivotal moment where I accepted myself, just a little bit. It wasn't a complete self-acceptance, but I accepted myself and I said, you know what, maybe I should, okay, I talk really fast, and I have a really nervous laugh, and I have all these weird idiosyncrasies, and I'm always like clearing my throat, and I'm always fidgeting, and I'm all, awesome. If these people who are good friends of mine that I love and that I trust, if they're okay with it, heck yeah, I'll be okay with it. And I accepted myself as the misfit that I was. I'm out of place. I don't fit in. I don't seem to have many friends. I can't fit. My life was fits and starts of one thing after the next, just trying to figure out who the heck I am and what I want to do. And the moment I stopped trying to change that, the moment I stopped trying to change that about myself and just accepted myself for who I was and embraced Jay, you're a freaking dork and I love you for it. Matthew, you're a freaking dork and I love you for it. In fact, I want you to be more of a dork.
I can do that.
So on your pad of paper right now, I would like you to write down 5 things about yourself that you would change if you could. Insecurities. Maybe you're not good at public speaking. Maybe you find yourself in certain social situations that make you really uncomfortable. Maybe you have a hard time trusting people. Maybe you're, I don't know, just the things that you think are some of your weakest links. Right now, 5 of them, the first 5 that come to mind. And if you don't have 5, at least 5 within 5 seconds, you're a narcissist. So I'll tell you what mine were at the time. I'm afraid of speaking in front of more than one person. And speaking to a person that I don't know give me anxiety. I was an introvert, and I bought into this notion that I'm shy. When I would be put on the spot, where there was a small group of people, We're at a family dinner, and it was more than one or two people that I didn't know. I'd be terrified that they would ask me a question, or that they would ask me something about myself, and I just had extreme social anxiety. I was afraid they would mention a movie when we were sitting around with a bunch of guys, and I wouldn't know what the frick they're talking about because I'd never seen them. Because I was shy, I'd talk really fast. I talked like 1,000,000 miles an hour. People were like, Jay, what the heck did you just say? What language was that? And all of these things, and the 5 things that you just wrote down, these are just agreements that we've made with ourselves that that's who we are. I'm insecure. I'm not a good communicator. I lack the self-confidence. I'm not good speaking in front of a crowd. I'm not good at marketing. And I'm just not a people person. Or I'm not a computer person. These are all agreements that we make with ourselves. At some point, we made the decision that that's who we were. And it happened for most of us, at least it happened for me, without me even realizing it as a kid growing up. And for years, I tried to change those things. I would read books. I'd meditate. I would go to seminars, go to events. I would try to fix these things about myself. Oh, I got to work on my communication. I got to work on my self-confidence. But I am a millionaire on a piece of paper stuck on my wall, and I'd sit there 100 times a day. I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm lucky. I'm lucky. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm actually not the loser like I feel like. But when this buddy of mine says, Jay, that's why we love you. That's who you are. It was the first time that someone gave me permission to just be Jay, to accept myself for who I am. And then a little bit while later, one of my mentors in this industry said, Jay, you got to stop trying to be me, and you just got to be yourself. People don't want to follow a guy who's trying to be somebody else. People follow people that inspire them. People follow people that are charismatic and that are authentic. People follow people that they trust and that they, more importantly, like. You know, you cannot possibly be a likable person if you don't like yourself. Right? You can't. If you don't accept yourself for who you are, you can't be attracted to somebody who doesn't have that confidence and that belief in themselves. By default, we are all looking for someone to follow at every given moment. Every day of our lives, we are looking for someone to follow. And it could be somebody that inspires us in a movie. It could be something in business. It could be Steve Jobs, who just passed away. There are things that inspire us, and the reason they inspire us is because they're a reflection of ourselves, and it's, oh wow, I like that, I want to be like that, and it inspires us to follow. The beautiful thing about your X Factor is that you already have a story. You already have a life, and those 5 things that you wrote down are going to become your strongest assets. Those are your strongest assets. Okay, so those are the 5 elephants in the room on that sheet of paper. And if you want to be really honest with yourself and maybe cover up your paper with your hand, write down the real 5 issues. The ones that you were afraid the person next to you would say. And then if you want to be really, really honest with yourself, just think about the last 1 or 2 that you don't even dare put on paper. And the closer you can get to that, the further you can get into and drill down into what you think is wrong with you, what you think is inadequate about you, what you think is missing from you or your life, the more clearly you can define that, the quicker you can unlock the entrepreneur inside you that is ready to explode into an audacious, vivacious, confident, freaking awesome stick of dynamite, powerful rocket ship entrepreneur who's just going to create the most awesomest life on this planet that you deserve right here, right now. It's already inside you, and we're going to let that guy out. And he's going to be dirty, he's going to be stinky, he's going to be rough on the edges, it's going to be uncut, unfinished, everything that you're afraid of people knowing about you is exactly why people are going to love you. The exact reasons you think people would not be attracted to you are the reasons they will be attracted to you. Why? Because when you accept yourself and you accept the things about you that are your weakest links, and you say, you know what? Hell yeah, that's exactly who I am. You know what? I'm effed up. I really am. This is what happened. Here's how it hurt me. And you know what? It sucks. But that's who I am, and that's what I got to work with. I'd get on the phone with people, and I'd try to be a salesperson. I would listen to these prospecting calls, and they would give you a script. Here's the posture. Here's the tone of voice. Here's what you say. Here are the rebuttals. Here are the answers to these questions. And it was like this act, right? And the first 100 people that I prospected, the first 100 leads that I called, these people just chewed me up and spit me out. Chewed me up and spit me out. They're like, one guy was like, he answers the phone. I said, hey, is Jim there? He's like, yeah, who's this? I'm like, hey, my name is Jay. You answered one of my ads. You're looking for a way to make some money from home. Do you have a few minutes? What's this about? Well, you answered an ad, like I said. Are you looking for a way to make, some extra income from home? Yeah. Okay. And right away, all of my little short list of insecurities, every one of them was like right here. And I'd like you to visualize a little monkey or a parrot that sits on your shoulder, right here. And he's actually sitting on every one of your shoulders right now. You can't see him, but I can. I got this I got parrot vision. This is like a little holographic parrot sitting right on Matthew's left shoulder. He's got red accents, green tuft right here. He's scratching himself right now like this. And as I was on the phone talking to this guy, that little parrot, oh, Jay, don't forget, you speak fast. You're insecure. You don't know what you're talking about. He doesn't believe you. You sound so dumb right now. Oh, Jay, you should probably just hang up or get off the phone as quick as possible. You don't want me to be any more embarrassed than you already are. And as this little parrot is like chirping in my ear, the guy says, how old are you? How old are you? So in my mind, I'm thinking, I pump myself up. I'm a successful entrepreneur. I can do this. I have the golden goose. He needs the golden goose's egg. I have what he wants. I just pump myself up, and I was faking it. I was faking it. And his first question was, how old are you? Oh my God, it was crushing. It was so humiliating. I mean, the phone, I just had this sinking feeling. I put the phone down. I'm like, you know what? If that's how hard it is to actually make money in direct sales, I don't think I want to do it. It's just easier to sell mufflers. That's way too hard. You might as well just punch me in the mouth. Like, bam. But, after another month or two at the job, and it's just really kind of sucks standing on a rubber mat selling mufflers and brakes to old, these elderly people that can't afford them, and having them pissed off at you because their muffler broke that kind of took a toll. And I'm like, well, shit, if this is what it's like to work a job, I don't really want to do that either. So what am I going to do? And all around this time, the story that I told you earlier about this friend who said, that's why we love you, kind of started pulling some pieces together, and I picked up the phone again, and I made a couple of calls, and instead of pretending to be like my mentor, my quote-unquote marketing partner at the time, instead of trying to be like him and emulating him, I was like, you know what, that doesn't work. And when you get busted for being fake, it's not a very good feeling. So why don't I just be, just is what it is. I mean, I'm not a bad person. I'm a good person. I don't know a whole lot about what I'm doing, but I think I've got a few things figured out, and I certainly know more than the person on the end of the phone about being an internet entrepreneur. So let me just kind of work with what I got. Trying to be a leader, trying to fake it, just wasn't working. So what I did is I just picked up the phone and I would say, "Hey, how are you? Is Don there?" "Yeah, this is Don. What's up?" "Hey, my name's Jay. You were on my website. You're looking for a way to make money?" "Yeah, what's this about?" I'm like, "I don't know. You tell me. You entered my ad. What are you looking for?" And instead of having an agenda to sell them something, I would just try to cut through the bullshit and like, "Don, look, you're looking for a way to change your life or to make some money. I got a way. Do you want to know about it or not?" But I didn't say it in like any sort of cocky way or condescending way. It just was like, I don't know how to package that in something that sounds good or sounds fancy or sounds compelling. So that's the bottom line. "Oh, okay. Well, what is this?" "Well, you know what? Honestly, I'm not a really good salesperson. I really suck at sales. So I think that probably the best thing to do, because I'm just going to screw it up if I try to explain it to you, I'm just going to send you this conference call. And they're much better at explaining it than me. And then once you do that, if it sounds cool, give me a call, and then I'll put you on the line with somebody who actually knows more about this, because I just got started myself." "Oh, okay. Cool. All right." So then after the call, this guy's name was Todd, actually. He called me back, and he's like, "So let me talk to somebody. I got some questions. It sounds pretty cool." And I was like, wow, that was so much easier. And actually, I didn't feel like I didn't get crushed like a bug. And I just started to embrace, I'm like, you know what? I talk fast. Okay, so I talk fast. Too bad. You better learn how to listen fast. I talk fast. I'm sorry. I'm not good at, and all of these things that I thought were my weaknesses. But I realized all they were this little saboteur on my shoulder, this little monkey. And it's interesting because some people find it easier to visualize a monkey and some find it easier to visualize a parrot. Who here visualized a parrot? And who here visualized a monkey? And who here visualized something else? Edward, what did you? James, what did you visualize? It's James, right? I see you. What did you visualize? What? A little devil. Who here felt a little devil, like a little? I had one of them too. Actually, my guy started as a devil and then he turned into a monkey, but he was like kind of a monkey wearing a devil's mask with little red ears and a little red tip on his tail. And that little sucker, man, he was such a killjoy. I would think that I was having a good conversation with someone, and that little guy would say, "Jay, you just freaking blew it, man. Why the heck did you say that? Do you know how stupid you sounded right now?" And he'd totally ruin the moment. And I'd be like, "Damn." And then he'd say, "Oh yeah, look at you now. Now you're all self-conscious." And the other guy on the end of the phone is probably laughing at you. "You're such a fool." And it would just ruin the moment. Does this make any sense what I'm talking about, guys? Do any of you have this internal dialogue going on? All right, well, it's not internal dialogue. It's external dialogue. You're not actually talking with yourself. You're talking with this little guy right here. All right? So when I say taking your biggest weaknesses and taking your insecurities and making those your strengths, all it is, it's a matter of just recognizing that that's not actually who you are. That's who this little guy is telling you who you are. That's all it is. And when you realize that that's not actually who I am, that's just this little guy chirping in my ear. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. Visualize yourself in third person with this little guy sitting on your shoulder. So the reality is that there's you, who's an awesome person. You got this little demon, devil, monkey, parrot, whatever you want to call it, sitting on your shoulder. He's not you. He's just convinced you that that's you. And because he's invisible, you can't see him. And because he's sitting on your shoulder, you extra can't see him half the time because he's like kind of out of sight, out of mind. Your thoughts are not who you are. They're not. So you can hold on to those things that you got on your list and identify with them as who you are, as long as you want or as long as that serves you. But how's it working out for you to be listening to that little guy? Because as long as that little guy's chirping in your ear and making you feel small or making you feel weak or making you feel inadequate, because we all want to feel like we fit in, we want to feel good, we want to feel successful, we start looking for solutions to solve those problems. Well, those problems don't even exist. They don't. You can go to years of therapy and you can't turn this little guy off. They just learn you how to have a better conversation with him. It's ridiculous. My mother said, you can't prevent a bird from landing on your head, but you can prevent them from building a nest. Okay? You cannot prevent the monkey from sitting on your shoulders or James's devil or parrot. You can't prevent them from being there because we all have them. We all have this backpack full of baggage. It's there. But what you can choose is whether or not you're going to listen to them. So I'd like you to visualize a volume knob, kind of like on the old stereo decks, like a big knob, volume knob. And right where the belly button of the monkey is, there's a knob. It's a volume knob. And when this little guy starts chirping, just don't try to shut him down or don't try to do anything other than just turn it down a bit. So you know what? Yeah, that is who I am. So shut the F up. That's what I am. Awesome. And embrace it. And the moment you start accepting yourself and embracing yourself for who you are, do you ever wonder how the most unlikely candidates for success just somehow they're able to, it just doesn't add up. There's got to be a catch. What the heck? This guy, there's no way he should be getting those results. It's because they've just gotten really good at turning off the little voice that says they can't do it. Your story, who you are, all of those insecurities, all of those inadequacies, that's who this little guy has convinced you that you are. And because you can't change it, you just embrace it. And once you've embraced it, you own it. And once you own it, you can change it. And oftentimes what I've found, just by recognizing that if that's not actually me, and that's just the monkey on my shoulder, at some point he just stopped because he knew it wasn't getting through to me. He just give up. And you just become a different person. But as long as you're fighting it, you're going to lose. Because it's a battle within yourself. It's a civil war. So, where in all of this is your X factor? How in all of this do you figure out your unique selling proposition, your USP? So as long as I was trying to be somebody else to get the results that they were getting, okay, it just didn't work for me. So when I give up that and I was able to turn off this little voice of insecurities on my shoulder, what's left? What was left? What was left was just me. This little guy doesn't exist anymore, and I'm not trying to be like him, so this is what I got. And instead of trying to be someone else, I'm like, I'm going to be the best Jay I can be today. And I'm not going to even apologize 1 second for it. And you know what? If you don't like the way I talk, too bad, because that's the way I talk. If you don't like what I have to say, that's okay. It's not a reflection on me. And I began to accept myself. Began to accept myself in my story. And I started to tell my story. People, they weren't taking my sales pitch. I just was like, look, I'm just a lousy salesperson. I'm sure I could become a better salesperson, but it just didn't feel natural. What felt more natural was just telling my story. So I wrote this thing, this little letter, about my story, my trials, what I struggled with, the 3 years of banging my head against the wall in MLM, trying to make something stick, trying to make something work. You guys have all read my story. That's probably why you got started in pro. But if you realize what's happening is I'm just telling my story. My story is my X factor. That's what makes me unique. Nobody has my story but me. Nobody has my story but me. And my unique set of circumstances that formed who Jay was became it's almost like a snowflake where every snowflake is different, but they're all perfect. And the permission that I'd like to give you guys today is to fall in love with your story. And the more effed up your story, the more difficult your circumstances, the lower you are in the bottom of that barrel, the better. Because it makes a much juicier story. It makes a much more interesting story. Who likes to go to a movie where it's just, people sitting on the beach and then they're driving in a car and it's just all fun and games? Like, that's not interesting. Life is dirty, it's raw, it's in your face, it's up, it's down, it's blood, it's sweat, it's tears, it's grit, it's drama, it's what it is. And your story is waiting for you to embrace. Your story is what makes you who you are. And your story, who you are, how you got to this place, the experiences of that you have, and whether or not you feel like those things are important, or whether you have the authority to speak on it or not, I'm telling you, you do. You absolutely deserve to tell your story. There's only one thing they'll pay you for, and that is your unique perspective of the world that only you have, based on the life experience you have up to this point, the way you've distilled it, the way you've turned off the little monkey who's giving you, the glass half empty side of the story. And people are going to pay you for your perspective. They're going to pay you for your story. They're going to pay you because you're willing to share something with them. And they're going to identify themselves in that. And that's of value. And when you give value, the remuneration of that is dineros or shekels or pesos or dollars or whatever currency you happen to be in. So your X factor is going to be your story. Now, if you don't want to take the time and you just don't want to deal with that, you can just click the outsource option in your back office and sell your marketing partner's story. That's also an option, or sell my story. But if you really want to break through, to that next level, I invite you to embrace yourself and everything about yourself that you think is a weakness, everything that you think is an inadequacy. Embrace that. Say, you know what? That's my story. And I'm going to sell the crap out of that. I'm going to tell everybody. Instead of pretending to be a good salesperson, I'm going to say, you know what? I suck at sales. I'll try to answer your questions, but I suck at sales. And the relief that comes from just being honest about it, like, now there's no pressure to be a good salesperson. As a result, now you're actually believable and probably likable because people find that charming. It's like, oh, wow, this guy's cool. He's like, when you're feeling insecure, it's time to start making fun of yourself. Like, make a joke about yourself. Poke fun at yourself. Those insecurities, put them on your sleeve. Tell people about them. Because, they don't exist. And it's ludicrous that we keep them in the back of our brain with this little dialogue. We pretend they're not there. And then they control us. Get them out. Put them out on your sleeve. And this little guy, you'll find he'll shut up. You become less and less prevalent. And the real person inside, the real person, who you really are, will start to come through. And people will crawl over each other just to hear what you have to say. They're going to be so inspired to be around you. They're going to want what you have. And at the end of the day, all you've done is you've unlearned. You've just unlearned who you are. Oh, crap, I'm over time. I wanted to thank you all for coming. And thanks to everyone who's watching on the live stream as well. Our goal and our intention here today and for this event is to unlock some of that potential that's already inside of you. And instead of giving you information and jamming information down your throats that you can take home and put into action, no. Let's strip away all of the noise and let's really try to get clear on who we are and how awesome we are and how wonderful our stories are, and fall in love with yourself and be proud of who you are, and be proud of the fact that you're broke if you're broke, be proud of the fact that you ramble if you ramble, be proud of the fact that you suck if you suck. Whatever it is that you know what, this is who I am. So I'm going to challenge you guys, everyone here. What I want you to do is, through the course of today, at least 3 different people, just go up to them and say, hey, my name is Jay, and I suck at sales. My name is James, and that little devil on my shoulder, man, you want to know who he just said to me? And share some of those insecurities with other people. And you'll start to laugh. It'll be comical because you'll realize, you know what? I'm not insecure. I just told this guy my biggest fear. I just told him my biggest weakness. You're not insecure at all. That's not who you are. And as you start to embrace it, people will start following you. So to kind of wrap this up, the thing that makes you unique, the reason you're on this earth, the reason people are going to follow you is not because you know something. You couldn't possibly learn enough stuff to be an expert on any topic for people to pay you for that. You'd have to go get a PhD or a degree. I mean, that's the traditional way of doing things. As an entrepreneur, you get paid for your perspective. You get paid for being who you are, your unique view of the world. That's what makes you who you are. And you start sharing that. So folks, have a great day. We've got some amazing stuff lined up for you. JJ, I promise I will not, you can take this off of my time this afternoon. I apologize to get us behind schedule here today, but it's great to be here. And thank you for being part of our family and part of our community. You guys are awesome. We're going to have an awesome day. Thank you so much.